Sleeping on me, wake up my body in the casket. White and yellow gold on my neck look like an omelet. I'm like MJ and these niggas that is robbing. Niggas still don't care, really they run up that poppin'. I'ma hit his block, walk up, really rockin'. I'm like MJ and these niggas that is robbing. Niggas still don't care, really they run up that poppin'. Do you wanna be my rival? My only competition is my idol. I'm killing them, these niggas suicidal. I live the double like busting guns and reading Bible. I push white, green with a black gun. I'm getting bread, these niggas bitches give a bread.
Rats tell too many tales and secrets like the Bible. You can't catch a 5.0.
I'm a plastic. Niggas sleeping on me, wake up my body in the casket. White and yellow gold on my neck look like an omelet. I'm like MJ and these niggas that is robbing. Niggas still don't care, really they run up that poppin'. I'ma hit his block, walk up, really rockin'. I'm like MJ and these niggas that is robbing. Niggas still don't care, really they run up that poppin'. Do you wanna be my rival? My only competition is my idol. I'm killing them, these niggas suicidal. I live the double life, busting guns and reading Bible. I push white, green with a black gun.
And I tell them that I never had a gun.
I'm rocking niggas in my city, got a pretty town. I'm shitting on the room, kicking up. My lifestyle check, girls, don't compare it. Brody, he will rock a man and sleep, don't get dirty. I'm always speaking in the third person, cause there's three of me. One's a dope boy, a rapper, either he just shooting me. I just run up on him, don't get caught, screaming DGC. I just run up on him, light him up like a Christmas tree. I heard gunshots in the snow, didn't get no sleep. Really, I was broke the whole time that I lived in the beat. Put a hammer on me, I'm a basket. Niggas sleeping on me, wake up my body in the casket. White and yellow gold on my neck look like an omelet. I'm like MJ and these niggas that is robbing. Niggas still don't care, really they run up that poppin'. I'ma hit his block, walk up, really rockin'. I'm like MJ and these niggas that is robbing. Niggas still don't care, really they run up that poppin'. These niggas Dennis Rodman. I was like, Dennis the Menace and now I rob man. I'm top 5 in the city, you ain't top 10. The internet got me beefing with a waistline. All my niggas shooting, he was Curry, I was hiding. I get the drop, I read him up like he a murder. I was getting money last night, got you serving. Met him in his face, he looked just like he's Dennis Rodman. Ever since I touched, never heard the ops walking. When I'm on the net, all I hear is ops talking. I am not a teacher, but I stay with the chopstick. If I ever run into that point, I'm a chopstick. I was downtown on the 6 with the bass, getting bands. You a family man like you ran. All these niggas, baby, someone put him in the playpen. If he moving shady, trailer trash him like he Eminem. Put a hammer on me, I'm a plastic. Niggas sleeping on me, wake up my body in the casket. White and yellow gold on my neck look like an omelet. I'm like MJ and these niggas that is robbing. Niggas still don't care, really they run up that poppin'. I'ma hit his block, walk up, really rockin'. I'm like MJ and these niggas that is robbing. Niggas still don't care, really they run up that poppin'. These niggas Dennis Rodman. I'm MJ, Scotty Pippen with a long fifth shooter. I don't really rate the process. I'm still getting money on the corner with the high hand. These niggas Dennis Rodman. I'm MJ, Scotty Pippen with a long fifth shooter. I don't really rate the process. I'm still getting money on the corner with the high hand.
Fucking kill you. The Surgeon General says these will kill you.
Nothing on my wrist, nothing on my neck, nothing on my fist, it's all on my check. Don't you get the gist? I got the confidence, don't need a brand on my chest.
A horde of angry mosquitoes.
Hey, I know what my value is.
I don't know what the mic picks up and
People
doesn't.
don't
There's a
need
bunch of lights or
tutoring.
something.
Hey, look at 21 Savage and Bill Gates. The rap industry got a complex. I turned reality into
I
a
was trying to
lucid
catch up.
dream. I turned
That
a
was
lucid
the
dream
guy
into
following behind.
whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. I'm the opposite of Microsoft. I'm big and hard. Let that resonate, maybe a little more. I got that lyricism sprinkled with a lot of flow. I made my sauce authentic on a chopping board. Baby, it's spicy, be careful. Don't shake the bottle too much, be gentle. It's kinda high on the Scoville level. Don't burn your tongue, don't get it in your eyes too. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. Self-care, yeah, got a lot of that. No food tastes good as having a six-pack. You should cut your snack same way you cut that crack. Then you wouldn't look fat as a Cadillac. Baby, looking like a snack. I can see you dipping squats on the squat rack. I don't need a beat, I don't really need a track. You can be my producer with your booty clap. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. Baby, keep your packs on zip tight, locked off. This is not the time for you to rack it up. We be in court, the judge is getting cross. You robbed the bank, baby, you took your mask off. You took $100K and left it at my front door. Thought it was funny, nice joke. Cause you know I bail you out no matter what the cost. I need that flavor, baby, shit, cause I got the sauce. Cause I got the sauce. I said it cause I got the sauce. Shit, cause I got the sauce. Shit, cause I got the sauce.
I said the last video the audio would cut out with 2 drags left on my joint. And sure enough, like clockwork, like there's a sensor or something.
Even when I'm OT, my nigga, I run the dot. Nothing gon' change, little nigga, when I'm under lock. Tell every rapper in this motherfucking city that I run the dot. I run this bitch like track and field. Race strikes like you're not the only one packing still. Power couple at the top of the hill like track and chill. Little niggas too young for big mass like Happy Meals. Who the best here? Shackle blood like we don't text here. In the cut, niggas go what? It's like a check theory. Niggas said boy gon' die, but couldn't get near him. Silent sick got no sound, like a vet hearing. I said before I'm a killer. If I drop a P, you'll see the rain like killer. We was in the East Detention Project Plus, that's out to count. When I used to turn myself in with an ounce. If you from the friend that never would be announced back in 04 when Galloway around the house, I was hectic. Nigga that said he was playing checkmate. Bleeding out of range, we used to give you niggas headspace. One quarter over to get you out on the next day. Blood on my hand, yo bitch, that's how I get made. Fucking with your shorty, get my priest like He-Man. Like Thomas the Train can't do it, like guess we can. Keep it 6, nigga, we keep 6. We can handle this like men or get in some G shit. You set tripping niggas switching colors like beasties. The money that we putting on you, whether you read with, you'll see shit. What if they ones, all I see is the snake ones. The cats that put work in their pocket and got no cake from. If a bus ain't big and no 6 plus, I'll make one. And if that shit don't come easy, nigga, I'll take some. Nigga, run the dot. Even when I'm OT, my nigga, run the dot. Nothing gon' change now, nigga, when I'm under lock. Tell every rapper in this motherfucking city that I run the dot.
Powered by your touch.
My niggas they ride, yeah, they ride. My bitches they ride. I got the fire like I am a pie. This shit is so crazy. These niggas is babies are beefing with Kai. I got the 80s and rapping the 80s. My niggas they ride, K, they ride, my bitches, they ride. They roll the K, I throw the fire like I am a pipe. That shit is so crazy, these niggas is babies, I'm beefing with Kai. I get hell off the 80s and roll with the 80s, I'm swinging like bad. Swinging like bad. I swing it like bad. I get high like the 80s and roll with the 80s, I'm swinging like bad. This shit is so crazy, these niggas is babies, I'm beefing with Kaios. I get high like the 80s and roll with the 80s, I'm swinging like bad. I swing it like bad. Sliding the black. The credit is brand new. I'm from the dark. They ain't running at you. These niggas gon' at you. They beef on Snapchat. But still they get no proof. Still they got no proof. I play the block like booze. Speeding it fastly. These niggas is slow.
Your child care. And you have to stay home. Number one, your employer has an obligation to accommodate that. So whether that means allowing you to work from home,
they've been advertising to open up your own franchise daycare. They've been advertising. You hear me making jokes about that. It's not like me wanting to open a daycare. I'm commenting about the
disease emergency leave. In terms of termination, your employer cannot terminate your employment if you're making a legitimate request to stay home to fulfill your child care needs.
Now, Mackenzie, can I maybe bring the kids to work?
That's an interesting question. So,
where do you work?
Employers have a duty to accommodate your child care needs up to the point of undue hardship. If it is the case that
up to the point of really,
your job from home,
I didn't know that.
But perhaps you could bring your children into the office, and that wouldn't be a undue hardship or cause too much disruption to your employer. That might be a possibility.
If they stay 2 meters away from everybody.
Strategy that could work in different situations.
That's Mackenzie Irwin with Samfiru to market law.
Really? Up to the point of undue hardship.
McDonald's Egg McMuffin is made with a freshly cracked egg. But wait, there's the
So like, what if you have like 11 kids and they're like, okay, we can take up to 6, but no more than 6. And like, where's the line drawn on this shit?
Jeff's, give milk. Jeff.
Weirdo motherfuckers.
just SICKLY.
You need a black and white filter. Oh shit, this one, see, that's why. The other one's white on black. So this one wouldn't show up right if it was in black.
And so I come to you, my love.
This is the French station.
Above my head, though I say.
FTR AM Toronto, it's 6 o'clock.
Aujourd'hui, au Radio Journal, vaccination des...
This is 680 News. This is Saturday, April 10th.
Oh, right.
Good evening. I'm James.
Remember, I
And
forgot
I'm
for a minute
Veronica
too.
Thor. Here's what's making news this hour.
We got other health problems. If you found the keyword sickle cell or suicide disease in your search box, COVID is not your first concern, is it? It's there, but it's not the first.
Doctors are encouraging Ontarians to get outdoors for the sake of exercise and mental health. But how do you do so safely? And should you still be wearing a mask?
You all made fun of the bubble boy, didn't you, back in the
COVID-19
90s?
cases on the rise in Ontario.
He's laughing
One
at
doctor
you.
is urging all levels of government to do more to help the ICU surge. And it's day 2 of the province's big box store blitz. The Ministry of Labor saying they'll have zero tolerance for rule breakers.
Bullshit.
The third round is on the go at the Masters with a Canadian in the hunt.
Les responsables de ressources intermédiaires dans la première phase de vaccination.
Tracks, and that's when the interaction with police started, alleging that police exercised excessive force. And earlier this week, Ontario's police watchdog ruled that no criminal charges would be laid against police in the shooting death of the 62-year-old last June. Chowdhury reportedly suffered from schizophrenia and had barricaded himself inside his apartment with a knife when his family had called a non-emergency line for help,
What
fearing
kitchen
that he
doesn't
might
have a
harm
knife?
himself.
The community needs accountability. The system is in real crisis. Yes, there's a pandemic, but there's another crisis going on, which is the crisis that communities like this are affected by. Underfunded and over-policed. So, you know, people talk a lot about, you know, we're all in this together. It's the pandemic. We gotta, you know, pull through. I think it's actions like this that are needed and are necessary to hold the government accountable, hold the system accountable.
So far, officials have not yet said how many arrests were made at the rally, nor whether charges will be laid. We will have the latest details as they come in. You can also refer to our website at globalnews.ca/Toronto. And make sure to tune in tonight for Global News at 11. As COVID-19 cases surge in the province, doctors say ICU capacity is being stretched to its limit. They say that having enough staff continues to be the biggest challenge that they face. Catherine Ward reports.
It is an atmosphere of stress. Stress is in the air in ICU.
Birgit Umagba says when she goes into work, it is a guessing game about how many people will be there.
We never know how many nurses or even respiratory therapists or even clerks we're going to be having on any given shift.
In Ontario, ICUs continue to fill up. On Friday, Critical Care Services Ontario reported out of the 1,846 ICU patients, 572 were COVID-19 related illnesses. 77 had been admitted within a 24-hour period.
Ontario has about 2,300 ICU beds. In practice, though, we have far fewer because we simply cannot staff them.
Nurses may be sick, they may have family members or children who are sick, and when that happens, they can't come to work for 2 weeks.
The province took new measures to address the staffing challenge, implementing emergency orders to allow for the redeployment of healthcare workers to hospitals. But it's not necessarily a straightforward process to bring in people to work in an ICU. Experts say it's a job that requires additional training and specialized skills.
It's hard on people to parachute people into units. We want there to be on a volunteer basis to start with. At the same time, we have to accept that they need training and support in the units that they're going into.
That learning curve is very steep. And again, these nurses that are specially trained are being stretched thin as is.
Birgit says getting additional support will help, but the stress is still there.
Of course, any help right now is help. But again, we're putting band-aids on problems that are duplicated by the minute.
Catherine Ward, Global News, Toronto.
Taking a look now at the latest COVID-19 data across Ontario, 3,813 new cases are being reported today. There are 973 new cases being reported in Toronto, 669 in Peel Region, 442 in York Region, 281 in Durham Region, and 289 in Ottawa. 1,524 people are in hospital with the virus, with 585 patients in intensive care. 19 more people have died over the past day. That is 7,531 in total since the start of the pandemic in Ontario. Toronto police are letting the public know what they can expect as they move to enforce provincial stay-at-home measures. They say no element of the province's Emergency Act or reopening framework gives police the power to go into your home or to stop your vehicle for the sole purpose of checking compliance with the stay-at-home order. They say you cannot be compelled to explain why you are out of your home and that being outside is not evidence of a failure to comply with the emergency order. Workers are also not required to have proof from their employer that they're going to or from work. Officers will instead focus enforcement efforts on restaurants and businesses not in compliance with closure orders or customer limits, as well as responding to complaint calls for gatherings. Officers will disperse and hand out tickets for gatherings of more than 5 people outside. And if someone refuses to identify themselves in such a case, they could face additional charges for obstructing a police officer. Hundreds lined up today in hopes of getting
That
a
obstruct
COVID-19
justice
shot
thing
at a
is
pop-up
something they
vaccine
throw
clinic
at
in
you.
Thorncliffe Park.
But under the emergency order, you have to identify yourself. Or maybe you don't, because I'm not sure if it's in effect or not.
As part of a city initiative to vaccinate those living in COVID-19 hotspots. The clinics will also run tomorrow.
Under the emergency order before, they said you have to identify yourself to a police officer, because normally you're not required to, unless you're doing something like driving or whatever that they would normally be allowed to ask you. What was the other thing you were just saying? Yeah. I told my friends last, I'd see it sound, people think I'm fucking weird for telling them things in a text message or an email. But if they try and stop you from being outside, tell them you're with us. Basically, in different words. Because we're essential.
All right, now we've got your first look at the weather.
There will be those who are not going to be compliant for whatever reason.
The stay-at-home order went into effect on Thursday, and it is expected to last for at least 28 days.
Elective surgeries are now being deferred in this province with ICUs stretched to capacity in COVID-19 hotspots. And one Toronto doctor is now calling on all levels of government to bring in healthcare workers from outside the province.
No, they can't make anything simple.
Julia Relissi.
The current pandemic situation is going to get much worse unless immediate action is taken. That's according to the medical director of critical care at Michael Garron Hospital, Dr. Michael Warner.
We know the Atlantic provinces have done a great job because of their healthcare policies and sacrifice for their citizens. But if we find ourselves in a situation where they're doing elective surgery in Halifax and we're triaging patients in Toronto, that just can't happen.
There are 1,524 COVID-19
We got a new rule where they can move you without your consent.
As of Saturday. Of those, an all-time high of 585
I didn't realize you had the right to refuse to be moved.
Warner says Ontario urgently needs ICU registered nurses to staff the beds we have on paper. This call to action comes after the Ford government issued 2 new emergency orders Friday night, which allows hospitals to transfer patients without their consent and redeploy home care workers to hospitals during a surge. I'm Julia Relissi.
Told you.
And it's day 2 of the province's workplace inspection blitz. On Friday, the Ministry of Labour started sending inspectors into Halton and Peel to battle the spread of COVID-19. Labour Minister Monty McNaughton says more than 100 inspectors will be going into big box stores, malls, factories, warehouses, and distribution centers over the course of the weekend.
They'll be checking up on the basics that should be commonplace by now, such as physical distancing, screening, and masking. At the same time, a multi-ministry team will be visiting big box stores and malls. Together, this means hundreds of workplaces and hotspots will be seeing us at their doors.
The minister adds that his ministry has zero tolerance for rule breakers. He says his team has conducted more than 45,000 inspections to date and shut down 78 workplaces deemed unsafe, 24 of them since the start of this year.
Building.
A day after the death of Prince Philip, the Commonwealth is beginning a...
Monica did, and that...
afternoon, Prince Charles made a statement outside his Highgrove home saying the royal family is deeply grateful for the outpouring of support they've received following the death of his father.
My dear papa was a very special person who I think above all else would have been amazed by the reaction and the touching things that have been said about him. And from that point of view, we are, my family, deeply grateful for all that. It will sustain us in this particular loss and at this particularly sad time.
Buckingham Palace says Prince Philip's funeral will take place April 17th at Windsor Castle in a family service that will be closed to the public.
In 30 seconds, we'll check the price at the pumps.
Play 640 Toronto.
Si on vous donne le choix de vous faire vacciner.
Honey mustard ham, savory turkey ranch, Italian aioli, and chipotle chicken, starting at $2.99 for a limited time. New potato bun sidekicks. Subway, eat fresh. Freshly made for order at participating shops. Excludes delivery. Extras additional. Plus tax. No additional discounts. Coupons apply.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. Enpro says the price of gas will hold steady at midnight, staying at $1.22.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather next. 680 News Time, 610.
The Chesterfield Shop. Hi, Steve here from the Chesterfield Shop. With this roller coaster of safety, health, and economic concerns, I want to thank all of our loyal customers for their patience and support. Unfortunately, our 5 great stores are